Okay, so we need to see this as a recurring decimal, all right, because there's, notice a dot above the 3, okay? So we'd write that in 0.7, and because the dot's above the 3 just keeps recurring like that, okay? So it goes on and on forever, all right? And I'd write it out like that to start with, and we'll use a letter to represent that. Okay, so we say, look, let x equals this, okay? We've got to go through a process now, every time the same process we use, and you'll end up then being able to determine a fraction, okay, for this particular recurring decimal. So let x equals it, okay? The next step then, you always then multiply it by 10, okay? Whatever the question, you always go that step. So if I work out what 10x is, because that's what you get, isn't it, when you multiply by 10, okay, x times 10 is 10x. Multiply this by 10, okay, while the number becomes 10 times bigger, yeah? So you know with that then, the digits will be the same, but they'll just have different place value. So that's 7 there, will move up 1, won't it? So it becomes a unit. And then, you know, the other digits then will follow suit, okay? So you'll have 3 then, and so on, okay? And so on there forever. Now, what you do then is you compare, right? You have a look after the decimal point with what we've got here to see if you've got the same numbers, okay? Now, if you look here, after the decimal point, I've got 7th and then loads of 3's. Here, I've got 3's. Simply that. There's no 7 after the point. So they're not the same, aren't they? They're not the same after the decimal point. So that's no good, okay? We've got to go further, okay? We've got to keep going with this. So I times by 10. Next step now is to times by 100. So if I times x by 100, of course the digits will move 2 places to the left, okay? Or you could just look at this here and think that, well, just times this by 10 again. That will give me 100x then. So if I move the digits to the left, okay, well the 7 then from the unit will go to the tens, okay? The 3 then will move up to the units. And then we've got then these 3's will all shift up 1, okay? And so on. We do the same comparison. We ask ourselves now, after the decimal point, is there any sort of that are the same? And if you look at the last 2 now, after the decimal point here, you've got just 3's. After the decimal point here, you've just got 3's. So these 2 are the same, yeah? Okay? These 2 there are the same. And what you do then is, you simply take them away, okay? So we look at both sides here, okay? We look at that side, and we look at this side here, okay? So we get here 100x, right? We'll take away the 10x, okay? Obviously start with the biggest term, take away the smallest term. So 100x, take away 10x is 90x, okay? And we'll do the same then on the right hand side, we'll take away, okay? Now, let's deal with the whole numbers first. We've got 73, take away 7, which is 66, okay? Now, after the decimal point then, what I want you to notice then is they'll sort of cancel each other out, won't they, when you take away? Because 3 take away 3 is 0, 3 take away 3 is 0, 3 take away 3 is 0, and so on. So it'll actually be 0.00000, okay? And we don't need to write that, okay? If it's 0.0, essentially this is a whole number, okay? So we've got this here. And we've just got a bit of algebra now that we work with to determine x. And if you think about it, 90x means 90 times x. So to get x on its own, we'll take the 90 over the other side and we'll divide, okay? So there's our fraction, okay? It does say in its simplest form, so we need to see now if we can simplify this. Now straight away I can see they're both even, so I'll halve, okay? I'll halve the top, 33, I'll halve the bottom, 45. You've got to ask then, does anything else go into it? And if you look closely, you'll realise as well 3 goes into it, because you'll know 3 goes into 33 11 times, okay? But it actually goes into 45 as well 15 times. And you've got there, that is your simplified version, isn't it? Because, you know, 11 is a prime number and it doesn't go into 15, so there's no way that we can sort of simplify that, okay? And we're done. Okay, that's our final fraction there representing our recurring decimal.